Take a deep, deliberate breath. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Allow the tension you have been carrying in your neck, your jaw, and your mind to simply release. The world outside this room is incredibly loud. It is filled with endless demands, shifting expectations, and a constant stream of noise that tells you to move faster, do more, and never stop. But right now, in this exact moment, you are permitted to completely stop. You are stepping into a sacred space of absolute quietness. You do not have to prove anything to anyone here. You do not have to solve a single problem, answer a single question, or figure out how tomorrow is going to work. The doors are closed, the daylight has faded, and the atmosphere around you is safe. This script is designed to be a sanctuary for your soul, a place where your mind can finally stop racing and find its anchor. We live our lives under heavy pressure, often forgetting that we were never destined to carry the weight of the world on our own shoulders. When we are exhausted, our thoughts can become chaotic, spinning out of control like a storm at sea. But there is a timeless truth that has comforted weary hearts for thousands of years. You have a protector. You have a shelter. You have a hiding place where the chaos of the world cannot touch you. As you listen to these words, allow them to wash over you like a warm, gentle rain, clearing away your anxieties and settling you into a deep, unshakable rest. To understand what it means to be truly safe, we must look to the ancient words of the psalmist, who understood what it felt like to be hunted, weary, and completely overwhelmed by life. In Psalm 91, we find an invitation that changes everything for an anxious mind. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I will trust. Consider the profound depth of the word dwell. To dwell does not mean to visit occasionally. It does not mean rushing into a space for a few desperate minutes when a crisis hits, only to leave the moment things calm down. To dwell means to set up your home. It means making a permanent residence in the peace of God. When you dwell in His secret place, your baseline state becomes one of safety, not of panic. And notice where this dwelling happens. Under the shadow of the Almighty. A shadow requires absolute closeness. You cannot stand in someone's shadow if you are miles away from them. To be in the shadow of God means you are close enough to touch Him. It means He stands between you and the harsh, burning heat of your circumstances. When the pressures of your job, your relationships, or your finances become too intense to bear, God steps in front of you. He casts His immense, cooling, protective shade over your entire life. You are not facing the burning sun alone. You are resting quietly in the shade of His presence. When you internalize this, your vocabulary changes. You no longer look at the world and speak only of your fears. Instead, you say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. A fortress is not a flimsy tent. It is a massive structure built of unshakable stone, rooted deep into the bedrock of a mountain. It is specifically engineered to withstand the heaviest, most violent attacks. When the storms of life rage outside, when anxiety knocks relentlessly at your mind, it does not encounter your fragile strength. It encounters the unyielding, impenetrable walls of your divine fortress. Inside these stone walls, there is warmth, firelight, and absolute peace. The storm may howl outside, but it cannot breach the space where you are hidden. As we dive deeper into the reality of this safety, the imagery becomes even more intimate. The text continues, illustrating a love that is not just strong like stone, but tender, soft, and deeply personal. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall find refuge. His faithfulness shall be your shield and buckler. Life can often feel like a series of hidden traps, unexpected bad news, sudden changes in health, or a sudden wave of emotional exhaustion that catches you completely off guard. These are the snares of daily life. But the promise here is one of constant, active deliverance. Even when you cannot see the traps ahead of you, God is navigating your path. The image of being covered with his feathers is one of the most beautiful and comforting metaphors in all of Scripture. It invokes the picture of a mother bird gathering her fragile, vulnerable chicks too close to her chest. When a storm approaches or a predator draws near, the chicks do not have armor. They do not have strength. They cannot run fast or defend themselves. All they can do is run to the center of their parents' wings. When you hide under his wings, the feathers block out the sight of the lightning. They muffle the terrifying sound of the thunder. All the little chick experiences is the warm, rhythmic heartbeat of its protector. Tonight, let that be your reality. You do not need to be strong enough to fight the storm. You just need to hide in the warmth of the wings that surround you. Let the noise of your thoughts be muffled by the steady, unchanging rhythm of God's love for you. Furthermore, his faithfulness is described as a shield and a buckler. A buckler is a small, portable shield used in close-quarters combat to deflect sudden, incoming strikes from every angle. This means God's protection is dynamic. It moves with you. It isn't just a distant defense system. It is a personalized shield that guards your mind against the sudden, intrusive thoughts of fear, inadequacy, and regret that try to pierce your peace during the quiet hours of the night. You are wrapped in a continuous moving circle of divine fidelity. When the sun goes down, our anxieties often amplify. In the silence of the night, our problems can look twice as big as they actually are. Every hypothetical scenario plays out in our minds, stealing our rest. But look at how beautifully the Scripture addresses this exact human experience. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Notice that the text does not deny that terrors exist. It does not pretend that there are no arrows flying or darkness walking through the world. We live in a broken, unpredictable world where real difficulties happen. But the radical promise is that you shall not be afraid. Fear is a tyrant that demands your constant attention, but its power is completely broken when you realize the scope of your protection. The terror by night represents those nameless, formless anxieties, the vague sense of dread about the future, the fear of losing what we love, the heavy weight of loneliness. The arrow by day represents the sudden, unexpected crises that hit us during our working hours. But whether the threat comes wrapped in the shadows of midnight or the bright light of noon, its ultimate power over your soul has been nullified. You can look at a world in chaos. You can see thousands falling into despair all around you, and yet your heart can remain completely calm. This is not because you are cold or indifferent. It is because you know that your life is anchored to something eternal. Your peace is not dependent on the stock market, your social standing, or the stability of your external circumstances. Your peace is dependent on the character of the one who holds you. Because he does not change, your security does not change. You can lay your head on your pillow tonight and drop into a deep, uninterrupted sleep, knowing that the God of your soul never sleeps. He is awake, so you don't have to be. True rest requires more than just a lack of danger. It requires a deep clearing of internal guilt and heavy mental burdens. In Psalm 32, we find the psychological journey of a soul moving from deep internal friction to absolute joyous relief. Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the man to whom the Lord does not impute iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no deceit. When I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. Think about the sheer weight of keeping things hidden. When we bottle up our anxieties, when we refuse to admit our mistakes, and when we wear a mask of perfection to the world, it drains our physical and emotional energy. The text describes it vividly. Our bones waste away. It feels like a heavy, suffocating hand pressing down on us day and night, sapping our vitality like the brutal, dry heat of a summer drought. But the path to the hiding place is always paved with raw honesty. The moment we stop pretending, the moment we open our hearts and say, Lord, I am tired. I have made mistakes. I cannot carry this anymore. The atmosphere immediately shifts. The scriptural response to our vulnerability is breathtakingly fast. I acknowledge sin to you, and my iniquity I have not hidden, I said. I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and you forgave the guilt of my sin. For this cause everyone who is godly shall pray to you in a time when you may be found. Surely in a flood of great waters they shall not come near him. The forgiveness of God is an immediate, sweeping clearance. He doesn't just tolerate you. He completely clears the ledger. He blots out the regrets of your past and covers your flaws with his grace. This means that when you enter his presence, you are not entering a courtroom to be judged. You are entering a sanctuary to be healed. Even when life feels like a flood of great waters, when the waves of grief, stress, or administrative chaos rise up and threaten to drown you, those waters are stopped at the border of his presence. They cannot reach the core of who you are. You are lifted high above the flood stage, kept dry and safe in the elevated fortress of his grace. When you are deeply settled in this space of forgiveness and safety, the entire atmosphere of your life begins to sing. The psalmist writes a line that serves as the beautiful core theme of our meditation. You are my hiding place. You shall preserve me from trouble. You shall surround me with songs of deliverance. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye upon you. Take a moment to visual this incredible phrase, surrounded with songs of deliverance. Imagine standing in the center of a space where every sound, every whisper, and every melody echoing off the walls is a declaration of your freedom. To your left, a song reminds you that your past is forgiven. To your right, a melody declares that your future is completely secure. Above you, a harmony promises that you are deeply loved. Everywhere you turn, your ears are filled with the music of God's victory over your struggles. This divine symphony drowns out the mocking voices of anxiety, fear, and self-doubt. And in the middle of this beautiful soundscape, the voice of the Creator speaks directly to your heart with absolute tenderness. He promises to navigate your life for you. You do not have to stress over making the perfect decision or panic about the steps ahead. He says, I will instruct you and teach you. I will counsel you with my loving eye upon you. Think of how comforting it is to be watched over by someone who has a loving eye. This is not the cold, critical gaze of a judge looking for your mistakes. This is the watchful, caring eye of a loving parent guiding a child across a difficult path. When you stumble, that eye sees you with compassion. When you are confused, that eye directs you toward level ground. You can move forward into the future with a relaxed heart, knowing that the ultimate author of time is directing your steps and filtering your path through his infinite love. To build an unshakable foundation of peace, we must also acknowledge the process of waiting. Real life often involves seasons where we are forced to sit in the dark, waiting for things to change. In Psalm 40, we get a masterclass in how to maintain an internal sanctuary during times of delay. I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined to me and heard my cry. He also brought me up out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock and established my steps. Anxiety often makes us feel like we are trapped in a horrible pit or sinking in miry clay. Miry clay is an exhausting substance. The more you struggle against it in your own strength, the deeper you sink. The harder you try to force a solution out of your own intellect, the more tangled and exhausted your mind becomes. It drains your energy and leaves you feeling completely stuck. But look at the posture of the solution. I waited patiently. This is not a passive, hopeless giving up. It is a quiet, confident resting in the knowledge that help is on the way. It is the stillness of a child who knows their parent is in the next room coming to get them. And what happens when we step back and trust? God inclines his ear. He leans down into your pit. He reaches his powerful, gentle hand into the mud of your anxiety and pulls you entirely out of the mess. He doesn't just rescue you, he stabilizes you. He sets your feet upon a rock. A rock is firm, dry, and static. It does not shift beneath your weight. It gives you a clear, elevated perspective above the mud of your problems. And then he establishes your steps. He gives you traction. He restores your momentum, giving you a clear direction and a steady pace for the days ahead. The result of this rescue is immediate creativity and joy. He has put a new song in my mouth, praise to our God. Your vocabulary of complaint and worry is completely replaced with a vocabulary of gratitude and wonder. People will look at the unshakable peace in your eyes and marvel at how you can stay so calm in a turbulent world. As we draw closer to a state of total, restful surrender, we look to the calming requests of Psalm 143. This passage reads like a soft evening prayer, perfectly tailored for a mind that is ready to close the book on the day and enter into a deep, restorative sleep. Answer me speedily, O Lord. My spirit fails. Do not hide your face from me, lest I be like those who go down into the pit. Cause me to hear your loving kindness in the morning, for in you do not trust. Cause me to know the way in which I should walk, for I lift up my soul to you. There are days when our human spirit simply feels like it has run completely out of fuel. Our emotional reserves hit zero. Our creative energy is drained, and we feel entirely faint. God is not offended by your weakness. He does not demand that you pretend to be strong when you are broken. When your spirit fails, that is the exact moment His grace becomes your primary fuel. You can lift your soul up to Him like an empty vessel, trusting Him to fill it with fresh peace while you sleep. The prayer asks to hear your loving kindness in the morning. This is a beautiful way to set your expectations for tomorrow. You do not have to wake up tomorrow to face a courtroom of judgment or a mountain of unassisted stress. You can sleep tonight knowing that the very first thing waiting for you when you open your eyes in the morning is a fresh, limitless supply of God's loving kindness. His mercies are brand new every single day. They are as guaranteed as the dawn. Look at the final, ultimate declaration of safety in this passage. Deliver me, O Lord, from my enemies. In you I take shelter. Teach me to do your will, for you are my God. Your spirit is good. Lead me into the land of uprightness. When you take shelter in God, you are placing yourself completely inside His care. If an enemy, whether it is an external problem or an internal thought of panic, wants to attack you, it has to go through your shelter first. It has to defeat God before it can reach you. And since God cannot be defeated, you cannot be destroyed. You can rest your mind in that ultimate security. His spirit is good. He is not plotting against you. He is not angry with you. He is a good, gentle shepherd who desires to lead your soul out of the rocky, dangerous terrain of stress and into a flat, smooth, peaceful land of uprightness. Now, let these truths settle deep into the fabric of your being. The words have been spoken, the promises have been laid out, and the sanctuary is fully built around you. There is absolutely nothing left for you to do tonight. The work of the day is finished. The mistakes of the day are covered and forgotten. The uncertainties of tomorrow are safely held in the hands of the one who created the stars. You are wrapped in the thick, protective feathers of the Almighty. You are hidden deep within the unshakable stone walls of His fortress. The floodwaters of the world may rise, but they stop at His command. The terrors of the night have no authority over your mind, because the Lord Himself is standing guard over your heart. Listen to the quiet melody of deliverance that is surrounding you right now. Let it slow down your breathing. Let it calm your heartbeat. Allow your mind to step down from its watchtower. You do not need to keep watch anymore. Your hiding place is secure. I will both lie down in peace and sleep. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. Rest your mind, release your body, let go of every single thought. Trust in His unfailing, eternal love. You are safe, you are protected, you are deeply loved. Sleep now in perfect peace. Amen.